him too. But yeah, this portion is just became a favorite last year. I think, it's kind of like we go to Horizon Church. I don't know if you're a Horizon Church person or whatever, but Horizon culture comes out at this moment. I think we've had in the past like the drinking game, which has been fun. I don't know. Has anybody played or the toasting game? Sorry, it's been a while since I played that. The drinking game too. Hey, I used to not drink. Maybe they should just let me sit down. But the toasting game at like dinner, we would do the toasting game. We'd go around the table and everybody would toast one person, and you kind of get to the last person, they'd feel sad a little bit because, somebody has to toast. Anyway, but everybody mostly felt happy. So what we're going to do today is something similar. I don't know how many minutes we have, but the rules of this are basically come up, share something inspirational. Obviously, Vision 2020 is the goal. To talk about, maybe keep that as a part of your theme, but something meaningful, something brief, so that we can get the most people up. Positive thought, and that we can share with everybody, and just about maybe your experience with Horizon, your Horizon with Horizon story, or just what Horizon means to you. Anything along those lines. So, Horizon Church, now in session.
Who gets to go first? Shout out to the acquisition team. You guys are great. Well, you're not great yet. But the acquisition team, to Rob's point, when I talk to our competitors, they can't believe what this little 5-person department does. It's amazing. And I think I included Tim in that, and he doesn't do shit. And now 5 with G. Scott Gilson. Do you know what the G stands for, anybody?
I do.
Yes, but his parents don't like me, so they call him Scott. Okay, who's first? Anthony. Yeah, you can come up if you want.
Come on.
Everyone can approach the front except Brandon. We will have Nina bring him the microphone for safety reasons.
Hi. If you just want to come up here, that's what happens. You just come on up here and, yeah. There's a chair right here. You can come sit in that chair. The next person.
Cool. So, won't make it long, but my recruiting process to Horizon started in like 2017. Took a while for me to jump ship and make that decision. But I will say it was Xavier and Candace who really, the happy and joyness that they experienced here last year, and the way they talked about everything with Horizon was, a very easy decision for me to finally make. And then meeting Greg, that was even easier. I told him no several times. He was very consistent, and it was the best decision I've ever made, honestly. Xavier last year, he was telling me about when he was playing basketball with you guys. And I remember telling my wife about it, and she was like, she told me, maybe last week, she was like, that week you told me Zay was playing basketball with his owners, and the way your eyes looked, I knew you made the wrong decision to leave, to make the wrong decision to stay where I was.
I knew it was the wrong decision.
Yes. And Candace called me several times. It was like, you're making the wrong decision, you're making the wrong decision, you're making the wrong decision. And yeah, here I am now, and I think it was definitely the best decision. This experience this week has been, sorry I'm kind of nervous, but this experience this week has been very touching, very welcoming, very warming, and I cannot wait to destroy Greg and Robin basketball.
I heard it was Brandon, right?
Beckel, challenge
well, I guess
accepted.
I'll go. Oh, hello everyone. I'm Brandon, if you don't know me by now. Well, I don't know what to say. I wasn't expecting this. All right, well, I've been with Horizon a little bit over 2.5 years. I gained some notoriety last year when Zay missed a play and I accidentally fell in the grave. We accidentally won the game as well on that play, so, that's why I'm over here. I can't come to the front. But honestly, my experience with Horizon, I've seen it all at this point. I came into a struggling property. It wasn't always sunshine and flowers, and even packed my office at one time. I thought I was gone. I didn't think I made the cut. We made it through that storm. I got an amazing team on my side now. They do all the work and they make me look good, so I appreciate them. Mr. Luca, you're on my team. And honestly, there's a huge difference in like what I see in the culture in North Carolina now than when I first came in. Like all the teams, even the Fayetteville teams that weren't as involved, were all involved, and we got this, I guess we call it synergy now. It seems to be contagious around here. But it's just one of those things that, you know, my site has benefited from the help of these individuals, Brittany, Lindsay, and now we got Kristen wherever she's at with us, and she's throwing out some magic down there already. So I appreciate everyone, all the love everyone's giving me from corporate to the site levels and all you guys. So I appreciate being here and I love it. Love it.
Who's next? Candace, good job. Okay, manager. Linda.
We've heard our story.
Well, hello. I was with Mike when he was at Canyon Springs and he was still with Pinnacle. And so I was around when Horizon first started and was in the office. Then I was at Fountain Court and they sold that. So I went with the other management company and came back in 2010. I was really happy to be back in the fold, but I was with the kids' property at that time. So for about 5 years, I managed with the kids overseeing me. And then I got back into Horizon. It was overwhelming at first because there were so many new things thrown at me. It was like I walked into an office I'd been in for 5 years, brand new. And I am so happy to be back. It is like such an amazing experience to be back with Horizon. So, thank you.
Okay, who's next? Nika. Didn't you want to say you want to tell everybody that you want to go sing karaoke tonight? I thought so. Karaoke later.
Okay, yes, I actually ran into a karaoke bar and everybody's invited because I told them I'll be back, so don't embarrass me. I told them I'm bringing my peoples and I didn't have any peoples at that moment, so everybody's invited. I've been with Horizon for about 2.5 years now too. I would actually like to thank Aisha for reaching out to me wherever you are. I came from a comp and Aisha contacted us and I happened to pick up the phone and she wanted a market survey and she kept talking to me and was like, what do you want to do with your life? And I was like, what? I was like, do you want the numbers or not? And of course I was like, she was very pleasant and she just kept pushing and pushing and then she was like, do you like what you're doing? And I was like, God, what is that? And so she kept reaching, she reached out to me and something just told me, give her your email. And for a week she had reached out to me and then she kind of sent Millie and Kelly and Brittany over and I didn't know they were coming to our property and I just gave them a tour because that's what I was doing. And I'm mean, I can't change who I am. So she emailed me that same day, was like, they love you, so are you coming or not? And I was like, I just can't leave the company that I'm with because they brought me up and one day it just clicked. I was like, you know what? I'm just gonna jump off a bridge into this new pool called Horizon and see where it takes me. And here I am. So I really appreciate y'all embracing me and definitely embracing me at karaoke tonight.
All right, is Tim here? Not this morning?
He's busy doing nothing.
Okay. Well, some people heard this story, but I think it's a good time to share it. I've been with Horizon for about a year, managing at Kings Cross and Kings Point just for a few months now, since officially December 1st. But Tim and I realized at opening night on Monday, I actually met him 14 years ago when he was on an acquisitions trip in Fayetteville. And he visited the property that I was managing at the time. And he remembered me sharing the story. I said, I've actually met you. It's been a really long time. But I actually met you once when I was managing in Spring Lake, North Carolina. And He remembered my visit. He remembered meeting me. I did not work for Horizon. I was not affiliated with any other industry organizations that we would have crossed paths at. So I just think that that really speaks a volume to the family dynamic and the culture that's here. And I'm glad to be a part of it. The fact that he remembered a face and a name, it took a second to jog the memory, but as soon as we started talking, it clicked, and he said, absolutely, I met you before. So I just think that's amazing, and I'm excited to be here.
And I'm gonna pick someone. Riker. Riker was excited to go to Horizon Church today, he told me.
I just don't want to end in the name of Jesus Christ. That's my only goal. I'm really excited to tell everyone about my haircut last week. Jimmy and I, we have a haircut spot called Sport Clips, and they give you like the nice 5-minute head massage. And I got to spend a lot of time with this lady there, and she was the manager of the Sport Clips, and she was telling me about their company and that they do something similar to this. They take all the managers from the area of like Indianapolis, and they get together and they do this retreat. And so I got talking about our retreat and how they compare, and it was really interesting to hear the way that she talked about it. And I'm blabbing about how amazing this is, and they're like, how do you do that? And I was like, we have Lindsay Ballmer, we'll send her. And she can help me. Consignment. But it was weird how she's like, yeah, I've been there like 5 years, so, it's pretty easy for me to find people to talk to and get along with. Like, it just wasn't that special. And I was like, within the first 30 seconds of being at this retreat, you feel loved. You feel family. And that is just like such a blessing, and it's been just like a very surreal experience for me each year. So thank you so much for MER and all of you guys, everyone that makes it special. Thank you.
How's our time looking?
Oh, you keep rolling.
Yeah, plenty of time.
Lots of time. We need more stuff.
There, go on. I said, Zay, you're next.
Y'all are really intimidating. So Rising with Horizon is more than just promotion, it's about growth. And in the sake of growth, I'm talking in front of a lot of people, and it's not something that I do. I'm doing it for Kelly.
Thank you.
I'm Jessica Smith, Anthony's wife. I have worked for Horizon almost 5 years now. I've managed 2 different buildings for them in Denton, Texas with Jayla, and spent some time in a marketing role. So Rising with Horizon really is about growth. And is there anyone that's here that has only worked for Horizon in property management? You don't know how lucky you are. Sorry, I'm shaking. But no, really, I only spent 2 years with a different company. Started as a leasing agent, worked into management, so I've only been a manager with Horizon, but if you've worked for another company, you know that you don't want to go anywhere else. Nobody has the culture that we have. I worked for a company that cut corners, didn't really care as much about the customer service as their bottom line. We spent an entire summer nursing an AC, hopefully before the resident would call it in, because I didn't have the money to replace 1 unit. And not to say that every company out there is like that, but nobody has the culture and the family that we have here. And for that, I do want to say thank you.
Good job, wife.
What's that?
I love your outfit.
And I love you.
Hey everybody, I'm Zay. I am going to piggyback on our last segment with change in culture. I started just over a year ago. Last year was my first conference, so that was already a baptism by fire, but it was very well embraced. It was the initial change in my life and career. I had just recently got married, left the company for 8 years, started with a new company, so that was an embrace and change. Everyone who knows me knows I'm very commitment oriented. That's why I'm torn between 2 fearless leaders right now as well. Great leadership under Candace and Lisa both. So that's already been another thing I've embraced. And then I would have never jumped 3 properties in a year. I was at my last property for 3 years. So just embracing that change in culture is what I'm grateful for and thankful for the opportunity. So yes, I appreciate Horizon.
How you guys doing? I'm Headley. I think I'm the newest Horizon with Horizon. I think the first of 2020, I believe.
Yeah.
I feel like a new year baby, so that's pretty good. This is an amazing experience. I've always wanted to come to one of these conferences, and everyone can vouch for the emails they receive. I'm like, hey, fly your boy out, please. But this is, I'm pretty much speechless. Pretty nervous as well, you know. But yeah, I'm grateful. I'm happy to be here, and I'm looking to embrace nothing but the pledge and more. You know, so, thank you.
I'm Cher. I have been with Horizon for 6 years in January. I started off at a tax credit property and rent collection agency, and Michelle hired me, so I worked with her for 6 years. I was just promoted for the downtown portfolio a week ago. But it has been the best company I've ever worked for. 2 years ago, 2 or 3 years ago, our managers here in Washington started putting together the MAR, which is basically taking all the information you guys learn here and passing it down to us. And it was there that I realized I wanted more. So I started reaching out. I was sent to Texas for a couple years in a row to help out with student turn time. And here I am, so thank everybody.
All right, I'm nervous too.
The nervous people sit.
Yeah, we just sit together and bond. I've been with Horizon for almost 5 years now, which is a long time.
Yeah.
I just extremely appreciate my relationship with everyone because, like Jessica's talked on, I've worked with management companies and I never met a partner or never met someone in corporate office or something like this. So being that we have such a strong bond with all of you guys is just amazing. And being that we get to take that information back to our teams. Last year in North Carolina, we had a really good mini MER, and we were able to bond and got our team excited, and they got to experience the same thing that we did, just in a smaller level. And I appreciate that because a lot of companies will not allow us to do that. Even down to celebrating people's birthdays and those type of things is what I love about us, that we can celebrate the things in personal lives and create that family bond with everyone. So thank you guys. I really appreciate it. And I love you guys.
Sherelle.
How much time do we have?
I'm the most talkative Florida boy. Just by the way, I'm the most talkative. I'd just like to say I really like Horizon. I started off as a 22-year-old property manager in Tallahassee, Florida, working for a different company. I jumped ship here in June. My first couple months were hell. I can't tell you guys. It was terrible. I didn't have a manager. I was a property manager. I came in as an account manager. I didn't have a manager who was living a pledge. You could ask Millie, I think you could ask Lisa, you could ask Candace. I was jumping ship. I was sending emails, I'm ready to go. Something has to change, this isn't right. I came following Anthony and Xavier, who are my mentors. They got me in here. Then I think that was the first time I met Lisa. And Lisa came to the property and we did one walk. And I don't want to say it was me because he got fired, but after that one walk. So it really showed me how everybody does there is a definition of Horizon. There is a certain look you guys look for. There is a standard, there's values, and that's what I liked about it. I didn't know that until I met Lisa and Millie and Candace. So I just want to say thank you because I almost went back to Tallahassee and that would have been the worst of my life.
One second, Andrea. I have one thing to say. After Jarrell mentioned the mentor thing that he had with these guys over here, raise your hand if you're in the mentorship program. Yay! Thank you guys so much. It was so fun to be part. I just wanted to say that's been a good. Can I talk a little just now? Is that okay?
Let
Can
me
I
ask
interject?
Rob.
Is it approved?
It's approved.
Okay. So part of like my blueprint has been to be able to work with Kelly this year. Obviously, I work with Lauren as my regional, and I've been able to, I heard that, we had the mentorship program a few years ago, and then it kind of went by the wayside. Other programs, we just grew so fast, I think. And then Lindsay's like, or somebody said it took a lot of time. I don't know if it was Aisha or Lindsay, and I'm like, I want to take it on. But anyway, so it has been fun, and the people that have gotten involved, we're just at the very beginning. I think it'll grow, and you guys will, it'll evolve, but that's been fun. So thank you to everybody who's been patient as I do my regular manager job and then take on trying to do that. But I think that's part of like Rob's talk and, building the culture of Horizon is focusing on those positive connections. So if you didn't get involved with it, I think we'll leave all the pairings in place as of March, but I'll send out another one in March.
Nina is a person of many words. So I go to the Branberry and I suggest that we do a little window painting. Let's get an artist, a resident, let's do some window painting. Welcome to the Branberry, now leasing. Just something, let's do it. And I come back on my next visit, and Nina wrote a book on the windows. It took me an hour and a half to read it all. So even you're a person of many words in all aspects of your life. Who's next?
Hey, that sign painter's still there, by the way. He's really good, RJ.
I am also a floor boy.
Yes,
Right. But to kind of piggyback on the confidence, part of it, Lisa, who I'm like slightly obsessed with, I think she's great. Before I just have my property trying to do what I do, and she's built me up where I can help another sister property that I didn't think I was doing. I joined the mentorship. I have a mentor. I am a mentee, and I just want to thank you for introducing me to all these wonderful people and believing in me.
Jimmy. Somebody had a request to hear from Jimmy.
So I've been with Horizon for 3.5 years. Whenever I got the word that I got maintenance supervisor of the year, I didn't know what to think. I've always wanted to come to one of these meetings, but I had no idea what it was. And I was extremely nervous. I'm in a room full of wonderful managers, and I'm a maintenance guy. So I was really nervous I would feel out of place, but you guys have made me feel very welcome. Thank you all.
My name's Andrew. I've worked for Horizon now for 3 years. I like this group of people. And you have to understand, I am a hater. I try so hard to come here and hate it, because it would just be on brand, but I can't. I was out the door. My last day was a Friday, and I was at lunch, had a margarita or two with our vendor that's doing the fire restoration at 3401. I was out. I was done. Got a text from the manager who was going to be taking over that I had been training that week saying he was out. So here I am. I stayed on, and it's in no small part because of the group of people here. Samia trained me at the very beginning, which was awesome. So I just look around and like you guys.
all you Florida people are hogging the mic.
Take over.
There's a little place in Utah called Clearfield. Partners should come visit there sometime. You said last year you were going to come visit me. I'm still waiting.
I went, you weren't there.
So is Aisha in here?
I don't think she is.
Okay, so I got an email from Aisha, and I'm still working from the last company. I don't know how she found me, but I'm glad she did. And I didn't apply. I had no idea how she found me, but I was looking. I put my resume out there, and I assume that's how. But I was going to spring break in San Diego with my kids, and she's like, "Can you do an interview in San Diego?" And I'm like, "Sure, you gonna come out and see me?" She's like, "Oh no, we'll just do it on the phone." So I was laying on the beach with my kids, having my first interview with Aisha. And then she set me up with an interview with Christine that was like 2.5 hours long. That sounds brutal, like a 2.5 hour interview, but it was great. It was just, I mean, she represented the culture, and now I get to work with Casey, and got my mentorship with Emily, renovations, very passionate about renovations. But no, I'm so glad Aisha found me, and Christine and Casey and our little Utah properties. So I'm happy to be here. Okay, well, any more words of wisdom? Horizon Church, Beckel, we're done? Oh, Samia.
Yay!
Samia!
Hi everyone. After listening to everyone's inspiring stories, I wanted to also share my little story. I'm gonna come at it a little bit from like personal perspective of being with Horizon. I've been with Horizon for about 7 years now. And I want to piggyback on what Jessica Smith talked about. If you have worked with other companies and you change, you notice the change immediately. I kid you not, 7 years ago, like I was the most reserved, like mousy little person, and I can only imagine how difficult it was for Greg and Rob to be like, oh, we really got to know what's going on in that head of hers. And it took, so they took their time to really get to know me, which I know and I've seen them do with so many different people. And to be quite honest with you, with the previous company, I didn't really want to talk much personal stuff, and they couldn't care less, so it all worked out for both parties really well. So I think that my message is for a lot of our newer managers and Savannah, who's also like the newest member of our team. If you open your heart and mind to the process and especially live the pledge, like sky's the limit, and this can be a really transformative experience for you at a personal level as well as professional level. So I just love this company, and I've also been like, you know, I'm gonna leave now, and then I don't leave, and I'm gonna leave now, and then I don't leave. It's because it's so hard to leave when everything's going so well. So I wanna like really again thank Greg and Rob and all the wonderful people that I've worked with here, and I really am excited for our newer faces to hopefully experience that and look back at it 5 years from now and say, wow, like not only have I learned a lot professionally, but it has truly changed my life as well. So thank you.
Just so we're clear, you don't ever get to leave.